What's up, guys? Week 10 is in the books, and Caleb Williams is not looking good. Now, famously, I was pretty low on him relative to most in the draft. Now, I didn't think he'd be bad, but I thought he'd be a decent starter, whereas most people thought he was generational. I thought he was overrated, and I thought Drake Maye should have gone first overall. Now, don't let the Blackhawks hat and the beautiful lake behind me fool you. I'm not really a Bears fan anymore. The Trubisky pick really put my fandom in jeopardy, and the Fields pick sealed its fate. So it's been a long time since I felt that pang in my heart for my dear Chicago Bears. But I thought the drafting Drake Maye was a really good opportunity to rekindle that fire in my heart, to really put this team back on track. They didn't take Drake Maye. They went with the safe pick, the safe pick in Caleb Williams, and it's been a disaster. Through 8 games graded, the only one I missed was the Indianapolis game. He's been a consistently really bad quarterback. I have met a 1.2 GPA average. That's redundant, and it's also a D. What went wrong? What exactly is wrong? Well, number one, we knew the deep ball was going to be terrible coming out of college because it was bad at USC, and it's tougher to throw in Chicago in the Windy City, even if it's not called the Windy City because of the wind. There's a lot wrong right now. And I figured I would dig into this all-22 against the Patriots, who are supposed to be a very beatable team, to see exactly what's going on and why things are not coming together. So it's enough yapping, to the film. Let's get it going. First play, bunch formation, extra offensive lineman, motion across, play action. This is ripped right out of Sean McVay's playbook. So if you want to say Shane Waldron doesn't know how to scheme up a play, you don't like the Rams too much, or at least you think Matt Stafford's carrying. Now, Caleb Williams is standing there like a statue. He has the dump off to DeAndre Swift for a couple of yards, and however many DeAndre Swift, an electric player in space, can get thereafter. Nobody's open downfield. Now, if he wants to look to the top, it'd be a very difficult throw, but he could put the ball right where this X is with a lot of velocity, about 15, 20 yards downfield, and DJ Moore could come under that on the comeback. And again, that's a tough throw. But given that they only have 3 people running routes because they have so much extra protection for Caleb Williams, you gotta either risk it to DJ Moore, which I think is the right play here, or just, it's okay to just dump it off to DeAndre Swift on your first play of the game. Get something going. Note that Caleb Williams has a ton of time despite 4 offensive linemen not playing in this game. 4 starters missed time. Instead, Caleb tries to run, and he loses yardage, right? It's a bad sack. It's on him. Because, again, if he really, really didn't want that DJ Moore comeback at the top of the screen, mind the sirens, that's just Chicagoans really freaking out about Caleb Williams' performance yesterday, you can dump that ball off to the running back, and you will be okay. So, negative sack, Caleb Williams' fault. The protection was perfectly fine. The play design was decent enough. No, it's not revolutionary. No, there's nothing easy about it necessarily, but there are options. Here, top of the drop, perfect throw, routine throw, but perfect, right? It's 3rd down, and he throws it a little short of the sticks, about 6 yards downfield. That's fine. Rome Odunze, 8th overall pick, I believe, drops it right over his face. That's a failure by the Bears in a different sense, that they totally over-evaluated Rome Odunze, and he's proven to be nothing special this year. But a routine throw, nonetheless, not Caleb Williams' fault. This one's lovely. This is great, right? 2nd down and long. Caleb Williams rips a dart 10 yards downfield into coverage. That is a solid throw. That is good stuff. That is the excellent velocity and quick release that got Caleb Williams drafted 1st overall, that tricked a lot of people into thinking he was a generational prospect. There is arm talent there. He just has to make decisions better, trust his arm more, think less, and therefore be looser, be more accurate. Here, top of the drop. Where are you going to go? There's nothing particularly easy right here. But again, I believe that there's a check down, right? Watch Keenan Allen in the middle of the field. He's running a little zig, right? This, Patriots fans might know it as a whip route. It's the Julian Edelman special back in the day. And, it's not the sexiest route. It's not the easiest route. You have to throw it right here with anticipation. But as soon as you get to stop, right, as soon as Keenan Allen comes to a stop right here, Caleb Williams can let this ball go, lead him a little bit, and get a completion, or at the very least, an honorable incompletion on third down. Instead, he takes a sack on third down. You can't take the sack, especially because, and this is something Caleb Williams has done a lot lately, you're on the edge of field goal range, right? An incomplete pass means you have a pretty damn makeable field goal. A sack right here puts you at 55 yards. That is very missable, especially on a windy Chicago day. And that's exactly what he does. He's just not aware of what's going on. And you can't tell me that Caleb Williams didn't have enough time. That's plenty of time, right? Top of the drop right here. 1, 2. You can't have 2 seconds after you get to the top of your drops. That's another sack that is Caleb Williams' fault exclusively. And yeah, it could be easier, right? Like the offense could be better, but it's not bad. It's above average. Routine throw to Keenan Allen. Little play action, funkiness, routine throw. More motion, right? People love motion. Well, the Bears do a lot of motion, and Caleb Williams is not gleaning much from it. Play action, routine throw, Roma Dunze, gets a first down, routine play. Caleb doesn't have to think, doesn't really have to be accurate, doesn't have to do anything. Another one. This time, Caleb actually gets through his progression. Like, he actually realizes in real time, oh, I have to settle for something decent, but not elite. Fine. Routine throw. Caleb Williams going deep. This is a serial problem for the guy. I have charted every single one of Caleb Williams' deep attempts in the 8 games I've graded. He's thrown the ball deep 28 times. He's been accurate on 4 of them. Now, that's not 4 of them were completed. That's 4 of them were catchable. 14.3%. Worst in the NFL by far. I've never seen a deep ball this bad. And it's something I saw at USC, but it's gotten slightly worse even since, right? He was 20% at USC, which is bad, really bad, but not 14%. Here, routine throw, quick little slant, not really covered, totally fine. Right, like when Caleb Williams is asked to do things that are remarkably easy or involve no thought, he's been okay, but not great. And it gets worse as the game goes on, right? Something seems to get to him. He seems to give in to his frustrations. Here, plus movement, neutral run, good job. Right, top of the drop. Where are you going? Well, Keenan Allen's open up on the slant at the top of the screen. Right, this area here is totally targetable. Everything else, fairly well covered, but it's not that the Bears didn't try to surround Caleb Williams with things. I heard ad nauseum in the offseason about how this was one of the best setups that a rookie quarterback's ever had. Now here, Caleb Williams actually has a target. Now it takes some anticipation, and it's not Keenan Allen in the middle of the field like you might think. Put that ball just above the N for NFC. Roma Dunze here has upfield leverage and should be able to go get it, and if he can't, nobody will. Instead, Caleb's just going to run and throw the ball away, and that's fine. Live to fight another day, you kick a field goal. It's better than the last time when you took a bad sack. But he's just not seeing things. Okay, right? Like his head never moves here, and it should have. Like right here, top of the drop, boom, hit Cole Kmet, hit him. Now, I understand, like this is a very condensed small ball offense, but you have a bunch of slow receivers, and you're not throwing well downfield. It has to be. Throw the ball to Cole Kmet. Instead, he freaks out, and then he does this terrible throw. Like, you don't have to do any of this, right? This is all unnecessary. Right here, boom, stick your foot in the back of the ground. See how he's pulling away? He's in a perfect pocket right here. Like, yeah, I know somebody's about to come through and hit him. You need to be a big boy. Stand strong. Deliver the ball to your tight end on the 4-yard flat route. It is... He's panicked. He's running away from nothing. Right? He's throwing this weird Mahomes shortstop trying to turn 2 throw, and he's got time, right? And because the defender who tried to tackle him dove, if he just rolls out to his right, he can completely reset the pocket. He's got tons of time, and he's not feeling it. He's lost. He's panicked. He doesn't trust his line. He doesn't trust himself. He doesn't trust the plays. This is all in his head. The play worked fine. Sure, it's not an explosive offense right now, But it is a manageable offense, and he is turning that manageable offense into a terrible one. Here, top of his drop. He's not looking at the drag right across the middle of the field, DJ Moore, his number one receiver. And instead, he's running away and ducking away from pressure that's not really there. And yes, he takes off and runs, and it's a good run. It's a really good run, a positive run. But alas, he's not executing the offense. So it's one of those things where, like, yes, this is a good play, and it gets charted as a positive play that is impressive. But he's making things hard on himself. And you can see when you actually watch the game, he's not processing. He's making things hard. In the event that there is a quarterback spy or that he just slips, he's not executing the offense, and you can't rely on scrambling as the basis of your offense. Here, Rome Odunze, 6'3", supposed to be a big framed possession receiver. Caleb Williams misses him dramatically. That's not bad scheme. That's not a receiver failing to get open. That's Caleb Williams having no accuracy. And I bet you a lot of that lack of accuracy is because he's not stepping into his throws. See how he's kind of standing straight up? He's not driving that ball. He's not throwing with confidence. It's kind of just coming out the side, and you can see him bouncing. He knows what he's doing wrong. Right, top of his drop right here. What are you doing? You see how his arm looks kind of awkward on this throw? Like, it looks almost too mechanical, and the ball is inaccurate. It's not catchable. Another bad ball. Now, look, Caleb Williams might not be accurate. He's only accurate on 62.9% of his passes this year. That is 8% lower than league average. But every single one of us with an arm, even our left arm, can throw a ball 6 yards to a standstill target. Caleb Williams is better at quarterback than every single one of us, I would wager. So why can't he hit that? Because his head. It's in his head. He's lost. He's having a crisis of identity and a crisis of trust. There you go. Routine throw. But you know it's really bad when you're saying, hey, look, improvement on a curl, a 4-yard curl. Look, I thought Caleb Williams was dramatically overrated entering this draft season, but I didn't know it was going to look like this. And honestly, I don't think it'll always look like this. I think he'll improve a lot from this. But this is inept. Top of your drop, right here. You've got DJ Moore having a picnic 10 yards between defenders, right? Gun it to him on his back shoulder. I know he's not out of his break yet. He'll notice the ball flying at him. Or just lead him. The corner is working perfectly. Put the ball on the sideline. Instead, he decides to run around, right? I understand you have to step up. I do. Play action, here's the top of your drop. Right here, it's probably a little too early to throw this. So you got to step up right here. You've stepped up. You bought yourself time. The defender has fallen. You can throw the ball now. Plus pocket movement. Good job. He doesn't throw the ball. He starts to run, and he runs directly into defenders. That's another sack that's on Caleb Williams, and it's bad vision. It's not that he's taking bad sacks because he's not seeing things. He's taking bad sacks because he's bringing his eyes down. He's not trusting his arm. He's not trusting what he's seeing. It's a crisis of confidence. It's a crisis of thought and calm. He's panicked and insecure, and those are things that you cannot be as a quarterback, especially when you're supposed to be the brash, cocky, first overall pick, generational superstar. Top of his drop, yeah, this is no fault sack. Oh! No, it's not. It might as well have been. Right? We'll call it a neutral run. Honestly, no, it's a no-fault sack. He didn't even get back to the line of scrimmage. Wow. Okay, yeah, no-fault sack. It's not his fault. Plus pocket movement for splitting the defenders. That's a taste of what made people think he was going to be a good quarterback. But it's not enough. Okay, here's another one. It's a bootleg, right? So right here, he knows that he is running towards the bottom of the screen. He doesn't really have the ability to stop and set up the pocket again. But right here, he knows there's going to be a defender coming right at me. Caleb Williams is a short guy. He's probably 5'11", 6 foot. So he knows that, you got to be careful not to get the ball batted. That could be really bad at this area of the field, and that's fine. So loft the ball. Use some touch. You have plenty of time and space, and instead he just guns it wide. It's a bad throw. He doesn't adjust. He does not extend the play. He does not manipulate the defender. It's just a bad ball. Like every single play, he is failing to do something simple. Even that, it's a routine catchable pass, but he's behind the tight end. And if 48, I believe that's Jelani Tavai, if he was in tighter phase, that's a pick. And if that's a pick, it's a pick six. It's just everything is off. And when it's all off, it's mental. Right? Here, he doesn't want to wait. He doesn't trust the play. So he's not going to throw the out and up to Keenan Allen, and that's fine. Makes a good decision, makes a solid throw on third down. Encouraging, but again, when just moving the chains is like giving you sparks of hope, it means that the rest of the game is abysmal. This one. Linebacker gets a hand on it. Bad ball. Right? And it could have been very easy. Good job manipulating the pocket. Great job stepping up. You've already missed your comeback, right? You missed your first read. But DJ Moore is open. Except you sit him down instead of leading him away from the linebacker. And because you sit him down, DJ Moore falls down, right? Because he's moving against, like, he's moving away from where the ball is coming. So he's trying to stop his momentum quickly on, let's face it, really bad turf at Soldier Field. Furthermore, you threw the ball right back into the linebacker. You hurt your ability to complete that pass. The hits just don't stop coming. Here, clean pocket, tons of time. Top of your drop. Where's he going? I know it kind of looks like everybody's covered, but I assure you they are absolutely not. Let's break it down. Right, so Keenan Allen's going to run like a bend sail. Rome Odunze is going to run a backside dig. You're going to have Cole Kmet, your quote-unquote fullback, come out and run a little curl here. DJ Moore is running deep as he loves to do, and I don't know what the running back's doing, but it doesn't really matter. So here's the top of the drop, and look at DJ Moore at the top of the screen. The adage is that if they're even, he's leaving. And DJ Moore actually already left. His bags are packed, and the runway is empty. The gates have been closed. Everybody is seated on the plane. They just need a pilot, and Caleb Williams is too drunk to fly this plane. Very clean pocket, pristine pocket. DJ Moore not only won this route against Christian Gonzalez, and Christian Gonzalez is no slouch, so that's a really impressive feat by DJ Moore. He's open on a streak 10 yards downfield. That never happens. That's Tyreek Hill caliber stuff. Doesn't matter. You got single high coverage with a one-on-one man corner on your best receiver on a streak, and he's wide open, and you got a perfect pocket, and you're hanging out looking around. Here's the worst part. Okay, you see DJ Moore. I mean, he's literally looking right at him. You can see his head look at DJ Moore. He's wide open. Layer the fade out there. No, he doesn't do it, and that's fine. Here, he's still at the top of his pocket, and you can see, if you look to the bottom of the screen, and Caleb never does because he never got through his read, your quote-unquote fullback, Cole Kmet, is wide open on the release, so at least dump the ball off and don't take a sack. And God forbid you don't want to do the easy thing. You've got all this room in this circle. All of that is going to be wide open for Rome Odunze. Rome Odunze. Yeah, too many vowels. Because I know a lot of you are going to say, well, what about this corner right here? No. He's running with Keenan Allen that way, so he's going to vacate this area. This whole circle is going to be wide open. And then the corner who's actually guarding Odunze is facing the wrong direction. Odunze has won this route. So the backside dig for a first down is wide open. The streak down the primary read on this play, the thing he's supposed to do, could not be more open. And yet, Caleb's going to take a sack that he shouldn't. That's another sack that is Caleb Williams' fault. All right, what the heck is this? Again, you've got your seam ball, like right, the streak in the slot on the top of the screen, that's wide open. If they're even, they're leaving. And Caleb doesn't want it. Instead, he wants to throw behind the flat to his tight end, who's covered. Terrible ball, terrible decision. If I'm DJ Moore, I'm I'm very frustrated. And I think DJ Moore's a bit of a diva. He's hated almost every quarterback he's ever played with. But I can understand now why he was not that thrilled with Caleb Williams all summer. Okay. You know what? Fair, Caleb. There's nothing you could do here. No fault sack. Totally not his fault. I will say, let's watch the pre-snap. I don't really grade pre-snap. It's not my thing. It's not my place to say. But notice Caleb moves Keenan Allen in motion like the play calls for, but as soon as Keenan Allen moves over, 24 slides down. So originally, he's lined up like he's going to just cover Keenan Allen. When Keenan Allen moves across the formation, 24 slides down like he's just going to blitz. And look at Caleb, he never even looks that direction. Once he starts the sequence of moving Keenan Allen over, he never once makes a check. He never notices, oh, I'm going to have a cornerback blitz off the weak side. I mean, I guess it's strong side. It's weak side as in there are fewer receivers and that the play is to the top of the screen, but the strong side as in they're closer to that sideline. Whatever, the convention is meaningless. It's obviously a zero blitz, right? You've got a corner coming and two linebackers. It's a six-man rush. And Caleb never noticed. So Caleb didn't audible. Caleb didn't check his protection, didn't slide his lineman over. He's got a right guard and a right tackle, double teaming a defensive tackle, but he's got nobody covering the cornerback. And it's a sack. Now again, no fault sack because, once you start the play, once you send a guy in motion, it's really hard to make these kinds of checks, and Caleb didn't notice before that. And he's a rookie, but it's a universal failure. He's failing pre-snap and post-snap. Here, I understand that it's like a rollout. You're supposed to run to the bottom of the screen and like get a high-low read to DJ Moore. It didn't work. But, okay, the play design's really dumb. I really hate this. Because your best bet, honestly, is to throw the ball to Cole Kmet at the top of the screen. So if the play actually is designed to have Caleb Williams roll to the bottom, as it seems to be, I don't understand. And then I think is that Adunze? Yeah, Adunze runs a really bad route here at the top. Okay, here's how the play is supposed to work. So Williams is supposed to receive the snap and run down like this. That's supposed to create a conflict, right? Because Adunze is going to run a corner, and I believe that's DJ Moore is going to run a curl. So the idea is you're going to have three threats, and you're creating a triangle of conflict, right? I'll make a triangle of conflict in pink. The idea of this triangle here is that you're going to have a corner on this receiver and a corner on this receiver, and theoretically, you would love to not have a blitzer, but you do. The idea is the blitzer will get blocked, and now there will be 1, 2 defenders, and they'll both be guarding 3 guys. The play doesn't work at all because there are 3 defenders on 3 people, right? Like, you've got a linebacker to take care of Caleb, and you've got a corner for each of these guys. Additionally, Rome Odunze takes way too long to get over onto the sideline. So the idea is you're supposed to have them all stacked up here, here, and here. And so then, you're going to have the corner is probably going to choose to guard the deepest man, and the second corner is going to choose to guard this man, and then, you've got blocks set up, and Caleb can just run. And the theory behind this kind of play is just that your quarterback doesn't have to think. This is the kind of thing that the Bears did a lot with Mitch Trubisky, but the line doesn't get protection, the blitzer gets home, Rome Odunze doesn't get over fast enough because he takes his time on his route, and the play blows up. It's a bad play. It's a high school caliber play, but it's also a play that you call when you don't trust your quarterback to be making reads and playing honest, true, pure quarterback anymore. And that's why you don't trust him. These short curls are like too much for him to fucking accomplish. Notice also that Rome Odunze at the bottom of the screen, more open, easier throw, right? Ball is on the wrong leverage. He's supposed to be throwing a curl that lands on the inside, right? DJ Moore turns inside towards the middle of the field. The ball goes outside. Moore has to adjust greatly to make a catch attempt. It's another bad ball. The accuracy is terrible. Routine. And I know that it's very windy. Like when I went outside, the wind blew my hat off yesterday and like almost knocked a painting off the wall in my apartment. Granted, I am very high up, but still. Lake wind is lake wind, routine throw. But if you're going to be playing quarterback here in Chicago, you have to be able to throw in some wind and even some rain and snow. And I have to grade it like a normal game because it is. It's a thing that's going to happen all the time every year. Quick pressure, yes. It's a screen though. You have an answer for this. Throws the ball away. Honestly, probably better just because you don't want to throw a pick on that screen. I understand it's a throwaway, but the panic is what's got me worried. Like, what are you doing? This is the exact same play that we saw earlier, right? Almost. Remember earlier I diagrammed the play where Caleb sprints out and then there was a corner and a curl? Well, now, instead of the corner and the curl, we're going to have like a weird out and up kind of streak, and we're going to have a curl. And once again, the idea is we've got this corner preoccupied by the out and up. We've got this corner preoccupied by the curl. God forbid either of those corners abandon their receiver to take the quarterback, then we've got an easy, wide open throw. It's a high-low read. Bare bones, basic, middle school level processing. Like literally, I ran these kinds of plays in middle school, 8th grade. Here, it looks like both of the corners have done the unthinkable and taken the curl, which means right here, you're going to have Keenan Allen open on a streak. Like there's a safety coming over the top, but it's there. And he can bend it off into a corner too because this isn't Madden. Keenan Allen's looking at the quarterback. He can react to wherever you place the ball. So just put it on him as a corner, right? Like throw the ball right here on the sideline or, maybe upfield a little bit more. It's hard to tell from a still frame. But put that ball up there and let him get it. And instead, Caleb waits way too long. Like the ball should be out right, honestly, before that. Ball should be out here. You should be floating that thing to the corner at the 30-yard line. And instead, he holds and holds and holds. And finally, when somebody beats a block 3.5 seconds into the play, then he throws the ball away. So it's a throwaway. But it's a bad throwaway because he had something there. Top of the drop, tons of time, open receiver. Bad. No velocity. Throw with some velocity, right? 1, 2, boom. You get your little hop. Ball's out right here. Ball needs to be out right here. Now I know Keenan Allen's not open yet. It's anticipation. You know he's going to the right. You know he's about to take a right. The cornerback's on his left. That's called leverage. He's wide open. Throw the ball out there. He gets hit, but it's because he's hanging onto the ball too long. And frankly, you still have to be able to make that throw, Caleb. Batted ball. Bad. I stopped grading in the fourth quarter because the game got out of hand and there was just no use. Caleb Williams had one deep attempt and it was terrible, which again puts him at 4 of 28 on deep balls. That's 14.3%, worst in the NFL, worst I've ever seen, frankly. And it comports with what I saw in college. So I don't expect it to improve very much. I think it's a depth perception issue because he misses both long and short, both left and right. He just can't hit a deep ball to save his life. He also doesn't really put any arc on the ball, which makes it more difficult because when you throw a moon ball like a Russell Wilson and that ball gets up, has a high trajectory and lands kind of like a punt or like you're playing a game of 500, it's more forgiving. You give your receiver a chance to bail you out by tracking the ball and running under it rather than making a perfect throw that hits your receiver. He doesn't do that. He's never going to do that. It's not going to happen. Caleb's also having a really hard time throwing to the second level. He didn't have any great throws. He didn't really, stress that level between the linebackers and safeties in this game at all. Only 3 solid throws, accurate on 65% of his passes, which is a concerning trend in the last 3 games. So Washington, Arizona, and New England, since the bye, Caleb Williams has not been accurate. 50%, 52%, 65%. On the season, he's at 62.86% accuracy. And that's not completions, right? That's balls he aimed at a receiver that were catchable. I'm not talking about throwaways. I don't count throwaways. They're different. I don't count spikes. I'm only talking about throws that were aimed at a receiver and could have been caught. A drop, that's accurate. even with drops factored in, 65.2% against New England, 63% overall. League average amongst starters, and I've graded about 26 of them, is 70%. So he is way below the threshold for a decent starter. Uh, Accuracy down the field. So accuracy rate, if you just take out all the easy stuff like the screens, the curls, the flats, the check downs, 27%, worst in the league. 30% on the year, 27% in this game, worst in the league. He's not making positive plays. He's not even really good at taking the easy plays. I guess the positive is that he's not putting the ball in harm's way a lot, right? Through 8 games, he's got 6 interceptable balls, which is 2.4% of his dropbacks. That's almost exactly league average, a little bit below. And he's not fumbling very much, only 3 fumbles on the year. So, he's safe, but he's not creating explosives. He's not building outside of the offense, and he's also not really executing the offense. He's not processing. His post and pre-snap processing is bad, and his accuracy's fallen off a hill. So I don't know how you make this guy work unless you turn him into a Kyler Murray. Not even this year, Kyler Murray's been a lot better, but if you turn him into a Kyler Murray of years past where he's a runner who occasionally distributes and plays point guard, then he can be useful. But right now, it's ineptitude, right? It is a tier of quarterback performance where even a good offensive coordinator is not going to make this guy very productive. He can make him passable, but a good offensive coordinator does not make Caleb Williams, in his current state, a good quarterback. Doesn't even make him produce like one. I think that there are ways to make Caleb Williams a solid starting quarterback again, right? My original grade on him was a 2.5. That puts him right around the fringe of the top 10, like a solid starting quarterback in the league who you don't need to replace, but he's not like a stud who's going to carry you to the playoffs. Think of like a Trevor Lawrence, a Kirk Cousins, maybe, like that caliber. Not great. He hasn't come anywhere close to that. So far in the year, I think it's fair to give him about a 1.6 grade, which is like very bottom level. That's a backup quarterback. It's inept. There's nothing you can do to fix it. And you don't want to run him because despite the fact that he's fast, he's small and he's probably going to get hurt. He's only 6 foot. I don't know what you do. His head is clearly in a blender. His emotions are messed up. His psyche is totally broken. I think he needs a change of scenery, and being that you can't trade him 9 games into his career and get anything back for him, you need a new coach. And you need to understand that that new coach is not going to fix everything, but hopefully the combination of easier plays to execute with, the hope and confidence that comes with a new start, you have to hope that's enough. I don't know. Anyhow, right now, Caleb Williams is terrible. And I said from day one, you got to take Drake Maye instead of this kid. But I didn't think it would be like this. I didn't think it'd be this bad. Hit me in the comments. What do you think I'm missing now? What do you think people missed back then? Do you think Caleb Williams can still become a good player? And if so, why? Also, if you just like Caleb Williams videos and want me to do more, just comment like, I like Caleb Williams videos, and I'll keep doing them. I'm just trying to figure out who and what people want to see, and I'll keep breaking down the film. So even if you just want to scam me and get free Caleb Williams all-22 cut-ups, cool, I'll do it. Just throw in the comments. I want to see more Caleb Williams. All right. Like, subscribe, anything. Give me a reason to keep making the videos. And until then, I'm going to be grinding film. Hasta.